Hey everybody, Naude here from Ocean Conservation Namibia. Hope you're all well. It's been a while since we've been live. I think it was in August last while Antoine was still here. And just, yeah, it's been a really busy time since then. And we just felt it's time to just have a catch up and see what the world is up to and fill you up on everything that has been happening since you've last heard from us. So, yeah, one of the biggest things, I guess, is that a couple of months ago, Antoine left. As you all know, he's part of Sea Shepherd. Actually, he just came here by chance on a quick visit in March, and he ended up spending 6 months here. It was awesome. We caught nearly 500 seals together in that time, and at the end of August, he returned to Singapore. We jumped back aboard his ship, Ocean Warrior, and are currently en route to Peru, where he is going to be doing more Sea Shepherd things. But he has assured us, and all things go according to plan, hopefully around March he will come back again to visit for another extended stay. So we're really hoping for and looking forward to that for sure. Yeah. So yeah, for any of those of you that are quite new to the channel, that have subscribed and signed up quite recently, Ocean Conservation Namibia, we're a non-profit organization founded at the beginning of this year. My wife and I have been running a kayaking company for the last 8 years in Walvis Bay, Namibia, and doing the tours, we've started seeing more and more entangled seals. We caught the first seal about 8 years ago, and it's just something we saw more and more often, and spending more time in the water, seeing more seals, started rescuing more and more. And by the end of last year, we realized, like, wow, this is actually a really serious problem. We're both conservationists at heart, and we decided let's commit to this, and we decided to start Ocean Conservation Namibia. So we got it registered. Took a lot of work, or we applied for the registration in March already, or in February. And it's also about the same time the lockdown started. So Antoine was here, and we basically just had the opportunity to start catching seals every day. So for nearly 5 months of lockdown in Namibia, we were out most days. We caught seals every day. We ran our what we call the 100 Seals for Time campaign in June, where we aimed to catch 100 seals in one calendar month. It was supposed to be in June, but we moved it forward to May because the other people who were supposed to join couldn't come, again because of lockdown, and we managed to pull that off. So yeah, Ocean Conservation Namibia has just gone from strength to strength. It's a non-profit. We run completely on private contributions, funds, donations from supporters like you guys, and it's been amazing. We've been really well looked after, and we are just we can't wait to see what the future holds for us. As you can see, we've caught over 600 seals this year. So the problem is actually much bigger than we thought initially, because we're spending so much targeted time looking for seals. We're seeing more, and we realize we're also starting to expand to other colonies in Namibia, and it's just exponential, the amount of seals we're seeing. So we believe we're doing the right thing here, and we're very excited to see where this goes. I'm joined today by my wife, Katja. She's standing behind the computer running the admin side, but you would have seen her in a couple of rescue videos as well. She's the real brains behind the organization here. She'll also be answering comments while you guys are chatting. So we're essentially at the two-man show in Ocean Conservation Namibia. I'm the one sent out to do the dirty work, and Katja is, like I said, the brain. She's the one who manages, keeps everything together, and we seem to function quite well as a team. We've always been able to work well together, so the system seems to work quite well for us. So guys, if you do have any questions, please do feel free to ask. We will. I would gladly gladly have answer some questions for you guys. Just while I'm still on topic, you'll see now in our videos lately, you'll see the videos seem to be jumping around a little bit on the timeline. Basically, you'll see some of the photos, some videos with Antoine in, and some videos of the old orange net. At the moment, the seal catching is slowing down heavily. Basically, it's breeding time right now. We do not like to disturb the pups, and we don't get to do many rescues at all at the moment. A few that are just opportunistic. So we need to cycle through some of our old footage. I mean, we've caught 600 seals this year. We've videoed most of them, so we just like to bounce around a little bit. So if you do see videos, it's not that I'm always posting the video of the day. Just so you guys know, they do hop around a little bit in them. So see there, we did receive our new net. Cat in the net. So we, again, thanks to donations, we received our new net. This net is absolutely amazing. Our old net caught probably about 600 or 700 seals in total. It was knackered. We had to cut it so many times and have it prepared so many times. We made a few changes. We now have 2 directional zips, which means we can access the seals from the top and the bottom, which makes it a lot more easy when we're dealing with cutting free entanglements. A lot less stress the animal, turning them around, trying to get them in and reset them. It just it helps a lot. We've actually got another spare net that is going to be commissioned soon as well. So when we do go out on those days, we see 2, 3, 4 at a time, we can actually attend to all of them. Yeah, so just hang on one second. I'm not getting any questions here. So I see Nina has asked how long I've been catching seals. So the first one was about 8 years ago. We were on the kayaks, saw this little guy swimming around, a massive ball of net on him, and we just had we couldn't help ourselves. We just had to catch him. I mean, just it's a logical thing to do. We saw this poor guy swimming around, and we had to paddle up to him, and we grabbed him, pulled him to the beach, cut him loose, and just felt good. It was a nice experience. So we realized we saved this thing's life, and we just we carried on. We carried on from there. It was purely opportunistic. Every once in a while, it was really easy. We would do it, and it just expanded from there to now being a full-blown obsession, I want to say. Somebody asked about white sharks. We do get a lot of questions often about people saying, like, why release the seals into the water, especially if there's blood, like the sharks are going to eat them immediately. We do not actually have white sharks in Namibia, or not white sharks that are going to be a problem. There have been satellite tagged white sharks coming from South Africa that have been seen far offshore. But in my whole life, growing up in the Namibian coast, surfing, diving, spending a lot of time in the ocean here, I've never seen a great white. I don't actually know anybody that has seen a great white themselves. It is great whites are not an issue here. We also don't have orcas either, so it's absolutely fine for these seals to run back into the water. We're not sending them into like a pending death, I promise. So somebody asked, are there less entangled seals? No, quite the contrary, unfortunately. Like I said, we're now spending so much more time with the seals that we're seeing more and more. I mean, we started going to Cape Cross for the first time this year, and we caught 21 seals in one day, and that's not counting probably another 6 or 7 that we missed that we just couldn't get to. They were in dense groups or too close to the water. So no, there are different times of the year where there are definitely less entanglements. For the first, most entanglements we get are usually pups. So we've got pups. The pups are born now, November, December, and they spend most of their time on the beach for the first couple of months. And after 3-4 months, they start getting a little bit more curious, going a little bit deeper out to sea. And then by about 5-6 months, so normally May, June, these pups start getting a lot more brave, a lot more exploratory, and they're going further and further offshore to find food. And not to find food, but just to explore their surroundings. And these guys are also so playful, so they're picking up all little bits of net and rubbish they find in the water, swimming through it, playing with it. And these are the ones getting entangled. So we have we have a time, like I said, from May, June, where they just start getting a lot more. We start seeing a lot more entanglements, and then up until the end of the year. Now these pups are being weaned off. They're now sort of adults or sub-adults after their first year, so they're more focused on fishing, eating, surviving, and less time on playing. So generally the first year pups that we do see the most entangled. I'm just going to bring up a picture. We had this big issue with the seal die-off a couple of months ago. So we were, from the end of September, we started noticing more and more dead pups on the beach, and it's something we see every year. It's a natural thing for some females. If they feel they don't have enough fat reserves while they're pregnant, they will abort their own fetuses and get rid of them. And just, we'll see them on the beach. And every year we'll see a few of them, but this year it was just absolutely crazy. This is a drone shot that I took in October, early October, and all the small black dots you can see on the picture here are all dead baby seals, and they were literally thousands. We estimated just the Pelican Point alone, conservatively, probably around 7,000 of these dead pups. They were just it was really hectic to see. It's tragic. The females were really thin. You had mothers and pups dying all over the place. It was really, really horrible to see. We had some extremely emaciated animals around. And we went out. We worked with some scientists. We went out. This is us doing samples. We started a fundraiser to get, because we got a lot of vets involved, scientists from all over the world. We were working closely with the Namibian Dolphin Project and a couple of key scientists, and we did a lot of sampling. So we had to get specific organ samples, tissue samples, to test for toxins or possible sickness, diseases in the seals, that if this might have been a reason for them dying. So the long story short is we managed to get all these samples sent off, and just about 6 weeks ago, the seals, we stopped seeing new dead seals quite suddenly, and it just started getting better and better, and we saw less and less, and there was suddenly some new pups being born that were actually full term, they were healthy, and this has turned around completely now. We've seen so many new pups on the beach. They're looking absolutely healthy. The mothers are fattening up again, and so the seal population seems to be recovering really, really well. Some of the test results came back. There was no presence of diseases. We're still looking for toxins and things, but at the same time, with these animals all being so thin, there was definitely a link to starvation. Again, probably not overfishing. We don't have a massive overfishing problem in Namibia per se. It is more the fish were in the wrong place. We're in a funny weather cycle at the moment. You've got the big La Nina system in the Pacific Ocean, which has profound effects on the Atlantic Ocean too. And around here where we live, changes wind directions, changes surface temperatures, and we've got these big upwellings, plankton upwellings south of, or quite close offshore of Walvis Bay. And this is bringing in a lot of food, which the little bait fish eat, which then the bigger fish come to eat. But if this food is not here, the bigger fish don't come in, and the seals don't have food. And this is basically what was causing them to starve. They weren't getting a chance to get food. But the weather came right, the fish started coming in, and suddenly they started thriving again. I mean, we went to Cape Cross the other day, Katja and I, and we had, they are just pups everywhere. It's incredible. Look at this. This is a proper, what you call a nursing group, like a creche colony. There are just thousands and thousands of pups. They're looking really good. They're healthy. Mothers are looking good. Seals are all on shore at the moment, and just, you can see it's just the seals are doing really well at the moment, which makes us really, really happy. Yeah. Somebody's asked, what was your longest seal rescue? Sure, we've had rescues of up to about half an hour, 35 minutes. We've had two, probably over half an hour. One was this big seal had a big fish hook stuck in right next to his eye. Very difficult spot to get out, and the barb was out, and it was a very technical rescue, but we did get him free, and he didn't lose his eye, which was an amazing thing, actually. And then the other one was the seal we had in the soccer net. I mean, this net was a 40 square meter net, like 20 kilograms of net. It looked like an entire soccer goal net, massive. This thing was draped, it's all around his neck. We caught him, and we just literally spent 20 minutes just cutting through hundreds of these nylon ropes. I mean, I planted like 2 knives, a scissor, just trying to get through these. It was quite an intense rescue indeed. But we do have, most of our rescues are actually less than 2 minutes. But we do get a few long ones, the more technical ones that can take 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes. It's not unheard of at all, actually. So somebody's asked an interesting question. Is the Namibian government helpful or against Ocean Conservation Namibia? So we need to understand here that seals are by no means a threatened species in Namibia. They are not they're not endangered in any way. We've got over 1.3 million seals in Namibia. We're still very much a developing third world African country. Conservation is a luxury. It's not that easy. There's not just funds available for every bit of conservation. So no, I would not. The government is not helping us in any way, but at the same time, they're also not opposing us. They're acknowledging the work we're doing, and we're helping them collect data and do things. So we are more trying to help the government than we see. There's a lot of gaps for research and things, a lot of gaps with entanglements and things that are just not within the government's means to do right now. So we are rather trying to help the government than the other way around. Molly asked, do we ever miss a seal? Yeah, every once in a while we do. I would say probably about 80% of our chases we actually get, but there are always some that are just too fast, too slippery, too big for us to catch. We just simply can't get all of them. But more often than not, we'll track those. We'll keep an eye on them. When we see the photos later, we can. Most of the time, we do just catch them again, but just at a later time when we've got a better opportunity to get them. Somebody's asked why are there so many fishing nets? The fishing nets are, I mean, most of the fishing nets that we are getting around the seals are small pieces, offcuts. So I don't know, and I'm not exactly sure. I can't imagine that these are just little bits of net randomly breaking out of big nets, and a net this small is not functional anyway. So I think it's when nets are being repaired, or maybe they might get cut up in propellers and things, or they are cutting out sections of net to replace with newer net, and these things might get washed overboard or broken, maybe discarded overboard on purpose. These are the ones that inadvertently then end up on the seals. What we get a lot more often than nets are fishing lines. Again, same thing. Fishermen, if they've got value in these lines, they're deliberately tossed overboard, but more lost during fishing, and this is how they end up in the ocean and around the seals. They obviously are transparent underwater, so the seals might not always see them and end up getting stuck in them, or when they find them, just playing with them and getting stuck, as they like to do. So someone's asked about the use of antiseptics and antibiotics. It's a very difficult one. We're not vets, and for this reason, we've been consulting with quite a few seal experts doing this kind of work all around the world. And when a seal gets to a point where it needs antibiotics and antiseptics and things, you need to have proper rehabilitation facilities for it, which we do not have in Namibia at all, not yet at least. The seals obviously live in the ocean, and probably the best natural antiseptic antibiotic for them is actually just ocean water. It's very antibacterial, antiseptic. It's a great natural healer for the seals. We've seen so many seals, what we call the recaptures, the ones we see again that have been released by us before, and these things look like, I mean, they like their heads are just about to fall off. And you see them a couple of months later, and they've got nice clean wounds or clean scars, cleaned up, grown over, and they're great again. So no, the short answer is we do not use any antiseptics or antibiotics. We would like to have some vets join us out on patrols to administer themselves. But again, these are all technical things. We are not vets. It's not something we're really in the position to do ourselves. Another question we get quite often: do seals get trampled in the Stampede? So yeah, you'll see in the videos always. I mean, it's crazy how these seals just all run in a massive stampede down to the water when we go to the ocean to catch them, or when we go on the beach to catch them. And it looks very violent, but you got to remember these seals are tough. I mean, the reason why these seals have such big chests is that they're actually protected from falling down rocks and things. They use their chests as protection. Remember, seals it's quite unique for the seals to be on such a sandy beach as we have here at Pelican Point. Normally they are very rocky shores. These things are falling around, tumbling. They are tough animals. You see them fighting. We've never seen a seal actually dead or injured as a result of the stampede. And normally they're all sort of running in the same line. They might overtake each other a little bit, but it's not that one is just lying there and everyone's crashing him to death. And also because they're moving all the time, it's like a rollover, kids tumbling in a soccer game or something. So no, the seals are not getting killed during the stampedes at all, luckily. Why do I carry the GoPro in my mouth? I get this question a lot, and I know it's terrible because I'm mumbling all the time when I'm trying to talk. But at the same time, you see, when we're doing the seal rescues, we are also trying at the same time to do, we're logging all the data, especially the extent of the wounds, the type of entanglements and that. So it's important for me to move this GoPro and to film the different parts of the seal, check the sex and that as well. So it would be more practical for the video for me to have the GoPro on my head, on my chest, but that means it would be mounted on. And I would be, I'd have to basically stick my head into all these places. So by having the GoPro in my mouth, it's more mobile, it's more versatile. I can take it out, move it around, and check. It's just easier for my purposes. And I know, I'm sorry if I mumble. That's why I do try and make a point of, if I've got something important to say, I'd rather take it out, talk, and put it back in again. Somebody's asked, do the seals smell? They do. Especially now, the big bulls, they get this really like musky cologne to lure in the females. And the small ones, the seals themselves actually do not smell. It's more the surrounding areas. I mean, they're living on the beach. All their waste is on the beach too. So it's more the area that smells, not so much the seals themselves. Because they're in the water every day, they're quite cleanly animals. They wash themselves in the water, rub themselves off. So it's more the surrounding area that smells. You go to Cape Cross, where it's a rocky bottom, where there's not really any chance for all this waste to get flushed away. The smell can get really strong. The first time you go there, it is really, really overwhelming. How do mothers and the pups find each other? Another very interesting question. You'll hear when we are on the videos, you'll always hear the seals are extremely vocal. They're loud. They're making a noise all the time. It sounds like a group of sheep. And the little ones always making a noise. And what happens is this is how these guys communicate. This is how they see each other, how they hear each other. They find each other just by by voice recognition. It's not by visual recognition. They don't recognize each other's faces. They don't recognize each other by smell that much. It's more by noise. So what will happen is the mother will go out to sea for a few days. Pups move around. She'll come back. She goes to the beach shouting, and all little babies shout back, and like this, they eventually find each other. So it's quite a unique system of identification. why do you not wear shoes? I really do not like wearing shoes. It's grown up on the beach, and it is. I've just never really been a big fan of not wearing shoes when I don't have to. On the beach, running in the soft sand, we find we're a lot faster with shoes on. Sorry, without shoes on, barefoot. You just have so much better traction in the sand barefoot. Sometimes we do wear shoes. It's normally maybe when it's in winter, when it's really cold outside. The sand can get ice cold, and if you go into the water with your toes, it like you spend half an hour trying to thaw out your feet. And then some parts of the beach do have some like really rough shells and seal bones and things. So sometimes we just need to be a little bit more careful. And at one time of the year, we just decided, okay, we're going to wear shoes for a while. But just during one time, the seals were really like snapping up at us all the time. So we decided to rather just wear shoes for a while, and that sort of phased out. So we were fine again to go barefoot after that. But yeah, you'll see our preferred method is to be barefoot out there. Another question we do get quite often is the use of tranquilizers. I mean, you remember that there was that massive steel bull. I've actually got a photo of him. This guy was huge. He was probably over 200 kilograms. So that no, that's not him. It's Julius. This guy was probably over 200 kilograms. It was huge. We ran after him, and he just literally could not fit into the net. Got the net over him like twice, and he just kept shaking it off, and it was just impossible to get him. So what we did, what we have to do now. Well, a lot of people ask why don't we just use tranquilizers? And tranquilizers are a very, very tricky thing with seals. Seals are what we call auto breathers. So what happens is, seal needs to physically tell himself to take a breath. If you tranquilize him and he runs into the water and falls asleep, he will drown. He's not going to tell himself to take that breath. And also the chances of keeping such a big seal on the beach until he falls asleep, very difficult. Because he's big, he's strong. You'd need like 50 people to try and hold him back. Also, when he's on the beach and he's fully tranquilized, you would have to ventilate him. So it's much easier. Well, it's not. It is done. A lot of people do it. They use first a sedative to get him calm enough, and then special gases to keep him calm, get him do the work. But again, this would require a whole team of vets and some very, very specialized equipment. We are really hoping, we're working on a plan to get a group like this in at some point to do some of these rescues. But for now, I use my what I call my breeding season. So I've got this hook that I made. You see, it's a long pole. It's about 2.5 meters long, aluminium pole, and it's got a very, very sharp hook on the end. So what I do is I sneak up, I crawl in towards the seals, slowly crawl in, really, really, really slowly. I mean, talking like an hour to cover 20 meters. When the seals are asleep, try and get close enough to the seal, get the hook inside the entanglement and yank it free, cut him loose. Why I say the breeding season hook is because this is normally, if there are bad entanglements during the breeding season, this is what I've been doing before to try and go as stealth as possible, not to disturb the rest of the colony, because those little pups on the beach can't walk for can't swim for the first few weeks, so we can't risk them getting chased into the water with the others and drowning. I was asked if there's a cultural use of seals, like a traditional cultural use of seals. Actually, no, it's not like in certain First Nations around the world where they traditionally hunted seals. We did not have, Namibia is a very desert environment. We did not have many coastal tribal communities in the past because of the lack of fresh water. So seals were not really a part of the subsistence diet at all, except maybe opportunistically groups wandering on the beach might have stumbled upon a dead one, but no. The seal harvest is based purely on economic demand, not on any cultural aspects at all, actually. I was asked how long do seals live? Seals usually live for about 25 years. In captivity, normally a little bit longer, but in nature, males and the females for around 25 years. They will normally at the end of their lifespan, often their teeth get too worn down. They can't hunt properly anymore, like in a lot of wild animals. That is the deciding factor that basically forces them to just be unable to eat anymore and hunt, and that's what kills them. So normally around 25 years old or so. Somebody asked what happened to Julius. Yeah, if any of you remember, Julius was my absolute one of my highlight seals of the year. I'll just bring a picture of him up quickly. So Julius was this guy. Antoine and I had an absolute obsession with trying to catch him. He had massive bundle of net around his neck. We had 3 or 4 very close attempts where we tried to catch him, and we just missed every time. Julius just eluded us, and we couldn't get him. After Antoine left, I went out to Pelican Point with my son, and we saw Julius. And my son's Dylan is 10, and he's like, "Dad, let's go, we can get him." And I'm like, dude, we can't do this. This guy's, firstly, he can't expect him to do the cutting or the sitting on the seal and pin him down. So like, no, we right now. So I went back and went out again with Denzel. He was the same spot, and we actually managed to catch him. So the issue with knowing how Julius is doing now, very luckily for Julius, this bundle of net was extremely tight. He couldn't swim. He was losing weight and everything, but he wasn't being cut. The line actually wasn't cutting into him because it was so spread out. So he's not very identifiable at the moment. We didn't tag him or mark him in any way. So it could be that we're seeing Julius every day. We just don't know. So yeah, I'm hoping Julius is still out there plotting his revenge on us. But no, I'm sure he's still around there and he's still happy. I got asked about merchandise. So yeah, you guys would see in our descriptions was the link to our Teespring store. We have some very cool Ocean Conservation Namibia, everything from caps, shirts, sweaters, mugs, all kinds of things, a couple of different designs. The ironic thing is that the merchandise store, Teespring, does not ship to Namibia, so we can't actually see the storefront in Namibia at all. So we don't actually know what these things, we can't order them for ourselves. So if you guys order them, email us a photo with yourselves wearing them, please. We love to share it. We love to see people supporting our work. We were honored to see our clothing worn all over the world. So for those of you that have done it so far, thank you so much. And yeah, treat yourselves and your families to some cool OCN goodies for Christmas. A portion of the profit does actually come directly to us, so you are inadvertently supporting OCN, which is really cool. Thank you guys so much. Another question I get quite often. Why don't we feed the seals a fish after the rescue? We do get that question a lot, and basically these are very wild animals. Seals that eat dead fish from people are all habituated animals that have gotten so used to people that they trust them to take dead fish. Get people saying, but we see the seals jumping onto boats, wild seals jumping onto boats. Yes, these are normally seals in marinas and things that have gotten so used to doing this, being fed dead fish, that they do this. If I toss a dead fish out amongst the seals out there, not one of them, it's natural for a wild animal to not eat, unless it's a scavenger, to not eat dead other animals. So no, it would be great if we could calm them down and give them a little treat afterwards, but firstly, it's not going to happen. Secondly, we are trying really hard not to habituate the animals in any way. We still see it as a good thing that they run away from us all the time. This means these animals are still wild, they're still not used to us, which is what we're trying to actually achieve here. Yeah, sort of ties into the next question. Do seals recognize us? It's difficult. Being on the kayaks for so many years, we would have certain seals that we would recognize that would come to us and interact with us a bit more than usual. So I do believe they do recognize it. I don't know if they recognize us as individuals or maybe just as people, or they see that they recognize the kayaks maybe. But we do we do feel that sometimes there is some recognition. I mean, they're very smart animals. It's amazing how they recognize each other when they don't. I mean, they all to us they look 100% the same. So yeah, we sometimes doing a rescue we'll get a random seal just walking up towards us and coming to check us out, and you always there's something in their eyes. Maybe they do recognize us. We don't know. We don't speak seal very well yet, so it's we're just not actually that sure. Do entanglements happen on purpose? It's a good question. Unfortunately, I would normally say no. These are always accidental. But this year we found quite a few entanglements that are just perfect loops, like seal size loops of knotted line, cleaned off, loops of rope, things like this that we just really don't know if these things were actually thrown out there maliciously. I mean, seals do account for a lot of fish loss for fishermen, so they are not very popular amongst the fishermen. So it could be that they're actually being targeted in this way. It's a cruel, terrible thing, but no, I can't confirm that for sure. But it could be that some of these entanglements are actually happening on purpose. That's true. Have I ever been run over by a seal? The seals running over us normally run at us mouth first. I've been bitten by seals running towards us while we're busy at the rescue. So normally we try and be quite alert to our surroundings, but these are seals coming from behind when we're busy bent over. And yeah, I've also had some tangles. I've had one or two cases where I've been trying to grab the seal and sort of twisted and fallen and rolled with the seal, and they've run off. But no, the only seals big enough to run us over would be really, really big, and I would really not like to be in that situation where I'm faced to find out what the answer would be getting run over by a seal like that. I mean, those things weigh 300 kilograms, and don't know if he's just is immediate, like if he's scared like that, his immediate reaction would be to snap and bite at anything. So he's not going to just run over. He's going to run over me and take my arm or my leg off and go with him. So somebody's asked, why do the seals come to the beach? Seals come to the beach because they are actually, I mean, they're initially land animals. They're of a canis, like a dog species origin, that have adapted to feeding and living in the ocean, but they're still essentially land animals. They're land mammals. The big bulls can spend up to 8 months in one stretch out at sea. They just go up to 100, 200 miles out at sea and just live out there. But the younger ones will base themselves on the beach. The females can only feed their pups. They have to give birth on the beach, and they can only feed their pups on land, not in the water. So they will base themselves on land, and the in-between ones will come and visit them, and they will also come to the beach to rest, and sometimes to sleep if they're feeding not too far offshore. So they will use the land as their base, but essentially they will probably spend more or less half their time between the ocean and the beach. This not including the very big ones that will spend most of the year in the ocean. They will come back to the beach during breeding time to mate and to look over their harems. So somebody asked about tracking seals. So yeah, we actually, with the Namibian Dolphin Project and some foreign scientists, we had some really cool research projects planned for the summer season. We were going to do a lot of vocalization studies. We were going to be able to tag some seals, even satellite tag some seals, entangled seals, to see where they're going, what they're up to, what they're doing. And it's because of COVID, nobody could get here. Everything's been put on hold. I'm really bummed about that. I've actually got the tags ready. It'd be really, really cool to be able to tag entangled seals, because with this we can then see, we can monitor their healing, because at the moment it's purely speculation as to how quick they're healing. And so we can tag a seal, have a number, mark down all the information, his weight, the extent of the damage, type of damage, and everything. And then catch him 3 months later, we can see how far he's traveled, how much weight he's picked up, how quickly he's healing, if there's still infection. So this would be awesome data to have if we can track seals with tags. But alas, this is not happening this year. We do have a very cool project, however, that we are working on for next year, where we want to, we're going to be working with quite a few local divers. Katja and I are both divers as well. We haven't scuba dived for a while, but we both actually worked in diving for a while many years ago. And we want to do some diving within the bay to see if there are possible hotspots for entanglements. There's a lot of, you always see in the videos in the background, there's a lot of ships anchored out in the bay. And these ships are all commercial ships, and some of them have been staying there for years. And we want to go dive underneath them and see if there's a lot of rubbish down there. Because if it's all illegal, they're not allowed to dump rubbish there. There's no one really monitoring these things. So if we can find that there's rubbish being dumped there and we can trace it back to the owners, there could be huge penalties for them. We can have some forced cleanups, and hopefully this will act as a deterrent for future littering in the water. So we're really excited about this. This will be a very cool project. We just hope to wait for the water to warm up a little bit, get a bit cleaner. Normally in our late summer, sort of February, March, the water gets quite warm and clear. So something we're definitely looking forward to. Who are the seal's natural predators? That's a big issue around here with seals, or with their population being so big, is that they just don't have much natural predation at all. Like I said, we don't really have great whites or orcas. Many years ago, like before settlers and things came to Namibia, there used to be a lot more predators on the beaches, a lot more jackals, hyenas, even lions catching seals on the beaches. So the seals would resign themselves more to living on the islands in a few very, very isolated spots. And with all of these natural predators being removed, there was now no real restriction to their numbers. So that's why seal numbers are so high in Namibia. It's just basically because of the lack of predation. The biggest predators, unfortunately, are definitely humans. Not directly, but indirectly through entanglements, nets, bycatch. The biggest threat to these seals are definitely human beings. Somebody's asked, do I do this full time? At the moment, essentially, yes. We do still have the kayaking company, and I'm still involved there. But at the moment, we are committed, because of Corona, the kayaking has been very reduced. We've had the opportunity to do this full time, and we now we've just seen such a need for this that yes, we have committed to doing this. This is our sort of life purpose at the moment, and we are pursuing this definitely on a full-time basis now. What do we do with all the entanglements? So at the moment we have heaps of entanglements in the garage. We use them for exhibitions, to show school kids, to show groups. We also, some of them need to be used for for education purposes, showing people exactly what these entanglements are and what the effects of them can be. So you show someone, see this little thing here, and you show them the video of the seal with his head half off, and you can see this is a direct result of something like this. Now, we are actually working on some very, very cool upcycling projects at the moment. There's one in particular that will come to light quite soon. Turns out fishing line, monofilament fishing line, the lines, the snook lines I'm always referring to, a thick commercial fishing line, is actually a very recyclable project. So it's opened up massive doors. We're really excited to see what we can actually do in like secondary upcycling projects with these fishing lines. We've got so much of it, and idea is then to approach fishermen to try and get the used lines from them, instead of having these lines ending up in the ocean, rather get them back and use them for more secondary upliftment programs and recycling projects. Do we visit schools and fishermen? This year has been very limiting again, because the big idea was, so in our sort of whole OCN manifesto, where we are a big part of our aim is to create education and awareness, but we have been blocked off on all sides. Namibia's had some very strict COVID rules and regulations. Schools have basically been shut for most of the year, only opening up the last 2 months of the year now, but with severe restrictions. So next year will be the chance to actually get out. It's the same with fishing factories. Fishing boats have been very hard hit by COVID. One person on board gets it, the whole boat gets it. So they've been very strict with access in and out of the fishing factories and the fishing boats. So next year will be the chance to address that. I've had a lot of requests. I've actually done a few Zoom classes with school groups from around the world. So if you are a teacher, you've got some kids that want to hear the story, by all means, make contact with us. We're always happy to spread the message, especially when it comes to kids, because these are the ones that will carry the message forward into the future. Somebody's asked about blooper videos. Yeah, we do actually have a lot of fail videos that don't make it. So I do think I will soon, for Christmas, we will put a fail compilation together. There's definitely been a couple of laughing videos, so we can put something together for Christmas time for sure. Who is the fastest team member? You guys have seen the videos of Denzel. That guy is a machine. He is so fast. He's a rugby player and he's a school sprinter. So when we need to get out there, we need to get to the water quick, then I get Denzel in it, and he's the guy to go. Tony was fast too. I'm not. I'm unfortunately not as fast as them. I like to consider myself an endurance long distance runner. Not a sprinter, but no, those two really they bring some crazy running skills, especially in thick sand to the beach. Do the seals poop on the beach? Yes, they do. Well, obviously, when they're in the ocean, they will poop in the ocean. But and I have the very pleasant job once a month of going and collecting a massive bag full of seal poop for the scientists. Seal poop gets analyzed, so they sort of swish it around, filter it, looking for specific little bones, fish jaws, fish ear bones to tell. A lot of data can be collected from this to see the density of, or the size of the fish they're eating, which will also give them an idea of where the fish are and all the rest. So a lot of data comes from seal poops. I have the fun job of collecting a very big bag of very smelly seal poop once a month. With regard to volunteers, we do have a lot of requests for people wanting to volunteer with us. It's always lovely to see how many people want to support us in this way. But it's a very difficult. It's a difficult thing. Our group is small. We try not to. We see immediately if we go out there with a second or a third car, people want to come and help. The seals are a lot more skittish, get stressed. The more people out in doing this, the more it stresses out the animals. The quicker they'll move when we get out the car. So it's a very difficult situation. We also it's a lot more dangerous than it looks. We can't risk having people come out there and getting bitten. We try focused when we're doing this. We're quite focused. We can't babysit at the same time, having people moving around and trying to get a selfie with a seal somewhere while we're not looking and getting bitten, and this ends up on us. So right now, in future, we would like to bring in some volunteer programs, especially if we do get more into the side of rehabilitation and just monitoring that. But these are all, our organization is still very new. We will when we get to that point, we will definitely announce it and have a proper screening process to see who we can bring in for something like that. Have I been bitten? Yeah, a few times. You guys remember in August, I got this one there. That was a big chomp. Put a few stitches in me. Had a few others in my fingers, in the back of my leg, on my foot, my thumb. This was the worst one. This one actually put me out of action for a few days. So by now I'm really backed up on tetanus and rabies shots, and we are. Sorry, my dog is hassling me. That's Scooby, the old man. He's needy. He's old. So yeah, we do have. I do get bitten every once in a while, but we've been. It's been really cool. We've had a lot of people donating us some. Mechanics Wear sent us some very cool heavy-duty gloves, and we've been donated some Kevlar arm sleeves to hopefully reduce the chance of getting bitten a little bit more. So we will. It's not something we plan on doing, but it's something we are. It's a risk we're willing to take. Sorry. Ooh. If you noticed in some of the videos now, we've been in a different car. So due to like some amazing donations from some very kind people, we've actually bought ourselves a designated patrol car now. It's a big Toyota Land Cruiser. It's purpose built for this kind of work. It's not a brand new car; it's a second-hand car, but it's really ideal for the work we're doing. The car we've always been using is actually our work car, a business car. So we are really excited to. This car is amazing. We're going to put some cool branding on it, and we'll show it off properly once it's been out there. Once it's ready and flashy and ready to go. I'm going to show you guys quickly while I've got you. I'm talking earlier about the pups at the moment, and this brings up, unfortunately, a whole different set of problems. We've got two female seals now that we've identified quite recently with entanglements. Now, this is a pelican point. This is one we've dubbed Mother Teresa. She had a little newborn. All the mothers around her had newborns. She's got this line around her chest. And it's tragic to see this poor baby. And she's fine. She's actually looking nice and fat, and which is a good thing because it means at this point now she'll only be losing weight while nursing the pup. So the lines will get essentially looser. They won't come off, but she's not in immediate danger. The bigger concern is that the pup might get entangled too. But because there's new pups are there, we can't risk going in there to catch her. So we're just watching her closely, trying to see where she stays in the same area, and hopefully as soon as this pup can swim, we can go in and catch her. This is another one that Katja and I saw at Cape Cross a few days ago. Tragic as well, really, really big ball of line. All these, I mean, you saw there were thousands, tens of thousands of pups around there. We might save this one mother, but inadvertently kill 50 pups by them being trampled or drowned. So it's unfortunately just something we have to wait on right now. Hopefully she's still around and we can get up there again and actually cut her free. I've been asked how do we fund Ocean Conservation Namibia? We are purely funded by public donations. We've got some crowdfunding platforms on our videos. We've always got the links to our Go Get Funding account, and we've got a Patreon account, and people. And then also a big thing is also our Teespring. We have the Teespring account, Teespring, the merchandising platform, which again does actually contribute to our work too. Everything gets used, and we've got our running costs every day, and we've managed to fund our whole organization just through private donations, which is really, really awesome. We've gotten by really well on that, and we are super grateful to everybody that has been helping out so far. So guys, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that's tuned in. I promise I'll make a point of trying to do this more regularly. one thing I just really want to apologize for. You will see that we are not always answering every single comment on the different social media platforms. We're a small organization. We do have 3 kids at home. We try and get to as many as we can, but sometimes we get a video that's quite popular and we just can't get to all of them. And I really apologize for that. If there's anything really serious that you have on your heart, send us an email when we know it's something more urgent. By all means, send us an email. We're normally a lot better on the emails, and we will get back to you when we can. We try and backtrack on the comments whenever we can, but there's unfortunately just too many to get through. Please, everybody, keep watching, share our videos, like them, spread the word. The more people that follow us, the more we can get recognized, and the more we can carry on doing what you're doing. And yeah, like I said, if there's anything on your heart, send us an email. If there's questions, if you've replied, if you've asked a question in comments more than once and we haven't answered, we're really sorry. Send us an email and we'll get back to you, I promise. Guys, thank you so much. It's been lovely. Scooby says goodbye too. And we will see you guys again soon. Stay tuned. Thank you. Bye-bye.